Okay, beautiful. So this is Hot Seat, Love and 10 Hot Seat Sunday. And what we do with Hot Seat Sunday is it's an opportunity for me to catch up and see what's going on in your world, hear about where you're stuck at, and make some suggestions or get in your shit if you are not doing what you need to be doing. So that's what Hot Seat Sunday is about. I'm trying to keep it so that it's like on the second Sunday, and then the last Sunday of the month is our master classes, so that we're together a little bit more often, so people don't get lost and just start doing their own thing or whatever. But the one thing that I know, the more you stay around the fire, the more you ask questions, the more you just keep going, you definitely see changes. Like, for an example, people who are real serious about their craft, you see changes in them really, really fast, even in their countenance. Like we talked about Tanisha, like she's changed a lot since we saw her in Los Angeles. And you see the work, you can see it and you hear it in their testimonials and things like that. And they launch in, they do what they need to do, and then they move on. And that's the whole point, not for me to like have you forever and ever dragging on. When you see people kind of like forever and ever dragging on, it shows it's because they pick it up, pick it down. Their belief system is not there. They want it to happen, and when they don't see it happening the way they want it to happen, then they lose interest and then they move on to something else. And that's the difference in someone who's getting engaged, whose life is changing. Like the new girl, Erica, she read the book and her whole life changed. You know what I'm saying? Because she actually applied the principles at the end of the book. At the end of each chapter. So when you see somebody like that, that's hungry, the change happens faster. So that's why I say, even life is going to happen in your life. Life is going to happen, but you got to be dedicated to you. You have to, because every time you put it down and then make an excuse to what's going on in your life, what you're saying is, I'm not important. And what you're saying is also not only that you're not important, but that you really don't believe that the work is going to bring you what you desire. So you got to keep it moving. And what I was thinking about yesterday, as I was trying to prepare for today, I was thinking about, I hear all these excuses that people give me, but not to compare me to anybody else, but just to paint a picture to why I don't like excuses. So here's my deal. I was a single mother. I had Izzy. It was just me and Izzy. I was in a new city I knew nothing about. I had left her daddy and moved to Los Angeles, and he was in Houston, Texas. So it was me and her. My baby had epilepsy, one of the most severe cases of epilepsy. I was working a full-time job, plus I had 2 contracts on the side, and I was trying to build my life coaching business. So when I hear people say, oh, this got in the way, this is happening, I had to work overtime, or this threw me off, or whatever, I don't believe it, because I did all of that, but I still took that 6 months and I was focused. I didn't care if I was up to 3 a.m. I was not going to miss my meditation time, my prayer time, my learning time, reading all the books, all the stuff that I can find on dating and relationships and trying to apply it and make it make sense. I was still doing my little online dating. I was doing it all. So when it comes to this work, if you put the work in and you focus, you're going to see the results and you're going to see the fruit. And what I also say is, it really should not take you guys as long as it took me. I didn't have a teacher. I didn't have a coach. I didn't have anybody to bounce ideas off of. I was just reading stuff, trying to make it make sense, meditating about it, getting answers divinely or through my intuition, and going with that. And in 6 months, I was, my whole life changed. I went from having a full-time job to having a couple of contracts and working my business full-time. My baby still had epilepsy, so I had to take her out of school and homeschool her. So that was added to my plate. I had to homeschool. Plus, my money changed. So I was working less and had more money coming in. And then my trip to Nigeria was completely paid for. I didn't have to pay a dime. And then I went over there. I'm like at the top. And then I was working out every morning, losing weight, just feeling so good about everything that was happening in my life. And then I went to Nigeria at the height of my bliss and met my husband. So if all that happened for me in 6 months, you have a teacher, you have a platform, you have accountability partners. I didn't have anybody. It was just me. There's no big reason why you can't make this shift and make it quickly so that you can move on, and just be here for maintenance and more teaching and continuing to grow. But the bare nuts of this, you should be able to get it, magnetize the things that you need in your life, your finances, everything, and get your man and keep it popping and moving. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So that's where I was. That's where I was. When I first started this journey, and I had a broken heart. Because remind you, that's when that guy disappeared on me. So I had a broken heart. I had a job and 2 contracts, a daughter with epilepsy, trying to build my little business on the side. So I was doing interviews and all kinds. It was just, I had a lot going on. But I never, ever made an excuse, because what I wanted the most was to be a wife. And I don't care what else was going on. It was not going to stop me from dedicating that time that I needed for me. So that's what I want to say. So with that, let's get going. And I'm going to start with you, Anna, because I haven't talked to you in a month of Sundays.
I know.
Where are you? What are you reading, studying? What's going on?
I am all over the place. Reading, I'm definitely what you said. I pick it up, put it down, pick it up, put it down. So I've been struggling with that. And I've been struggling, kind of everything on all sides have been like really bothering me lately. So definitely.
So let's start there. Picking it up, putting it down. What does that mean when you pick it up and put it down? What does it mean?
Like,
what's going on in your head? What's going on in your soul? What does pick it up, put it down mean?
Just the work of, this, what we're supposed to be doing, like our meditation time. Like I was on it, and then I was doing like the reading. I was,
Uh-oh, I lost you, Anna.
giving myself time. Hello, I'm so sorry.
You. Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
You.
My grandma called me.
Oh, okay. I lost you for a whole time.
I know, and it cut the connection. So if it happens again, it's because she's calling me back, because I haven't checked in with her.
Okay.
But yeah, so I was giving myself more me time, and I haven't been doing that pretty much at all. And I can feel the difference, because I'm struggling, like, just being like happy, and I haven't really struggled with like being happy in a really, really, really long time. But I'm not giving myself my time. Like, I haven't even, like, I was working out every day. I haven't really worked out in like 3 months. So my body is feeling it, and just feeling a lot of weight and a lot of pressure.
So here's the thing. And this is what, coaching is all about, looking at different perspectives to give it more meaning. When you put it up, put it down like that, and you start neglecting yourself, how that shows up in a relationship is arguments start. You start feeling alienated from your man. It feels like he doesn't want to be bothered with you. He feels like he stops communicating with you. It seems like he's distant. Things are just not the same. And you can't put your finger on it. And then there's arguments, or you're just not speaking at all. And then you start saying, well, maybe it's not going to work out. Maybe we just need to leave each other alone. That's what that looks like. So what you're doing is you're saying to yourself, I'm not important. I like being abused. I like being mistreated. So if there's no one in the physical there to mistreat me and hurt me, I'm going to do it myself, and I'm going to make sure it gets done. How does that feel to you, Anna?
It's cool because what it feels like kind of boils down to like that I'm not enough. And I am enough, but I'm working on really believing that. And yeah,
so where
like
does belief come from? How do you build belief?
I don't know.
So belief comes from you just do it anyway. And the more you do it, it becomes a part of you. And the more that it becomes a part of you, you don't want to depart from it, because now you're developing a whole new relationship. And when that relationship is not there, like you said, you start to miss it. So the other thing about it is not just belief, but your why. Why are you doing this? When your why is not strong enough, you will pick it up and put it down because you don't have a real reason. Your reason is superficial. My reason was I was determined. I made a pact with God. I was determined. If he showed me how this love thing worked, and it worked for me, I would make sure that I would share it with all the other women so they would never have to hurt the way I had to hurt. I made a pact with God. I'm living out my pact with God. That was my why. My superficial or secondary reason was I wanted to be a wife. So the first reason was, God, if you show me not how to hurt in these relationships, I'll make sure I'm making my mission to specifically help Black women, plus size Black women like me, professional, strong, plus size Black women, how to not hurt in relationships and how to have a healthy relationship. Secondarily, I want to be a wife. So you got to figure out what your why is. Why are you doing this? Why is this important?
Because I want to be the opposite of what I'm around. I want to have that relationships that I see the marriages that I see my friends have, and the relationships. Like I don't want to be like that. Like I don't want to be like the women in my family.
Okay, so change it from negative, because that's negative reinforcement. Put it into positive reinforcement. So how can you say that more positively?
Mm-hmm.
You need help?
Yes.
So how about this? I was talking to a potential client yesterday. We had a session and we talked about how wouldn't it be so amazing for you to create a new paradigm in your lineage for your family? Wouldn't it be so powerful for you to be the light of how beautiful, healthy relationships are and what it takes to get there? How beautiful would you be the paradigm? How beautiful would you interrupt the already scheduled program that's been running in your family and around you, and you be that beacon? How beautiful would that be? That everybody's coming to you for the answers on Anna has it, and it is beautiful. What did you do, Anna? I want that. What if that could be your why? How would that feel?
That would feel better. I mean, it just even it sounded better.
Mm-hmm. So you have to come from the negative place and that negative reinforcement, because negativity is that strong energy that we have to release from us. So negative energy also creates self-sabotage.
Mm-hmm.
But if you come from a mission-oriented place, I am going, every time you feel like you don't want to read another chapter or look at another video or get up and work out, you're saying, but if I don't do it, it's not going to get done. I don't get to create a new paradigm. I don't get to be the light. I don't get to be the beacon. If I didn't do it for that 6 months, none of you all would be here.
Right.
6 grueling months of figuring it out, putting the pieces together. How do you talk? How do you communicate? Well, why do men do this? Well, why do I feel like that? Oh, got it. Good. Okay. Yeah, 6 grueling months. That's all it took me, 6 months. And from that 6 months, I'm a social worker. Had no idea it would be a booming business for me. Had no idea be nominated. Had no idea I'd be traveling and talking to women from all over the world. Had no idea. 6 months. I mean, I still study and stuff now, but 6 months. So what if all it took, Anna, was 90 days of you giving it your all to be that beacon of light that the family needs right now? They need hope. Where are they going to get it from?
Me. So I'm changing today, right now.
It's serious. What if after you did it, then it just became a domino effect? Like all of a sudden, everybody's coming to you, you're giving advice, you're sharing what you know, and then everybody's life changing. Now you all are happy and going on cruises and trips with your mates. How beautiful would that be?
That's a dream that I want to make a reality. Yes.
Yes. That's the place we have to be in, not negative reinforcement, because negative reinforcement, what happens is there's no strong foundation. And it's like what the Bible says, you can build your house on a solid rock or you can build it on sand. Negative reinforcement is building it on sand. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It look like you building something, but as soon as the first wind or rain come, it's destroyed. But if you're building it on a solid rock, girl, it can withstand anything. So now what I would tell you to do is create a vision around your new connotation of why you're doing this. It's a bigger why now. You have a bigger reason. Not just you, not just getting laid, not just getting a man, but you have a bigger reason now. And even though you might be young or the youngest or whatever, you could still spiritually be the matriarch of your family. You could be that voice that everybody's been really needing and wanting. They just didn't know how to get there. But how blessed are you to be on this thing called the internet and stumble across me? How blessed is that? Grandma didn't do it. Auntie didn't do it. Your sister didn't do it. You did. So the torch is being passed to you. You're going to be the new matriarch, even in your age. So what's the new plan? Now that you got that, you got a deeper why, a real reason to do this. What's the plan?
To do the work and apply it.
How are you going to do it? You got to do it with a plan. How are you going to do it?
One, I'm going to read the book and do all, because I haven't read it. I read the first chapter.
And then that stopped you because you was somewhere probably crying like, oh, Jesus. Hell.
Well, I'm not going to let that stop me anymore.
So when I say a plan, really what I'm saying is, how are you going to implement this? It's easy to say, well, I'm going to read the book. But how are you? What is your plan? Are you going to get up and read it from 6 to 6:30, or what's the plan? Because now with the plan, you can write it down and you also schedule it in your phone. So what's the plan going to be that you schedule at least an hour a day for you? What does that look like? It could be 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes in the evening, or the full hour at nighttime, at midnight, whatever. But what's the plan? What is your plan?
My plan is to read it at night, an hour, 9 to 10.
From 9 to 10. So when your accountability partner, Tanisha, texts you, excuse me, at 9 p.m., you're going to be like, I'm reading.
Yes.
Tanisha, do you hear her?
Yes, I do.
Tanisha laughing.
Go. No, no. I will. I will. I will also, if I don't get a text, I will text her or Instagram her and saying that I'm reading.
I'm reading. That sounds like a plan. So now don't go from 0 to 10. So for an example, one of the things, because it's an easy read, because one of the girls that just bought the book last week, she said, she texted me the next day. She was like, oh my God, that was the best book. I finished it. I was like, in 24 hours? She was like, I couldn't put it down. I just went right through it. I was like, okay, now I'll go through it and just do a chapter and do the assignments at the end of the chapter. So from what I understand, it's a real easy read. But what I don't want you to go from, 0 to 10. So take a chapter and do the work from the chapter. That's, and then maybe you're doing a chapter every other day so you don't get bored, or, you know what I mean? Or if you do a chapter a night. So, in the next 9 days, or I think there's an introduction too. So in the next 10 days, you will have completed the book and the assignments that go with the book. And you are running conversation in our group because you got so much going on just from doing what's going on in the book. And then I'm able to see, okay, she's being accountable. She's doing her stuff. How does that feel?
Yeah, that works.
That works. Okay.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
No
so
excuses.
Your plan until we meet again. So by the time we have the master class, you should have finished the book, and each assignment at the end of the book should be done, posted in the group. And with that, you still take that time for meditation. But I think chapter 3 or chapter 4 guides you in that anyway. So by you doing the stuff at the end of the book, you're automatically, just follow the book, because it's going to guide you into your meditation time and how to do your prayer time and all of that stuff. So I think you're going to be good. So that's a good plan for the next 10 days. That's a good plan. At 9 o'clock, Anna is reading and completing the work.
Yes.
That sounds
good. I'm writing it down, and I'm going to put it in my phone.
Good. Schedule an appointment with yourself. And believe it or not, me and Boyo have to do the same thing, because now that we're long distance, even when he was in Nigeria and we were long distance, because we're kind of used to that. We were kind of spoiled these 2 years being together every day for 2 years. That was crazy. But we're used to being long distance. We have to schedule time to talk to each other. So it's the same. And I don't know who I was talking to. I've been coaching so much in the last couple of days. But what you're going to find is the same way you're living your life now, it's going to be the same thing with the relationship. So that's why you have to learn to live it and live it well, and understand this whole thing about putting yourself first, because what you do, your habits that you have now, you're going to use the same habits in a relationship. So that's why you want to develop good self-care, self-loving, putting yourself first now. So you don't feel complicated. And when women start losing themselves in a relationship, because they've already lost themselves, they don't even know who they are in the beginning. But if you make this a practice, you will never lose yourself. You will never lose yourself. And your intuition will be strong. So when something is going on in your relationship, you know to go to prayer about it versus confronting him, whining and crying.
Mm.
She said,
Yeah, because I would confront.
Yeah, that will be our normal thing. We're going to confront.
Yeah.
No, because you are now putting things into practice where you're a ready woman. Ready woman, we do stuff so differently than a basic chick. And I also want to give you a little hope. Your other assignment I want to add to that, Anna, is I don't know if you've already seen it, but I'm going to ask you to watch it again from a different mindset. Is Eat,
Okay.
Pray, Love.
Okay.
Have you seen it before?
I've seen it about 4 or 5 times.
Okay. So I want you to watch it again. And this time when you watch it, I want you to figure out how you can incorporate the principles. First, I want you to find the principles out of the movie. What are the strong principles? At least 10 of them. Find 10 principles from that movie that you picked up on. And then after you find those 10 principles from that movie, then I want you to share that with me. And I want you to incorporate those in your life as well. Hey, Ursula. Is that cool, Anna?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Beautiful. Do you have any more questions?
I think that the questions I have are kind of superficial, and I think that when I do the work, for the next 10 days, it'll shift because I'm dating somebody and I keep pushing him away. So
Okay.
some of these things might before I ask them, I want to see how they play out. But
that would be good, because if you're pushing someone away, I have to tell you the same way I was telling Kim, and I think it was another person, pushing someone away is self-sabotage. It is saying, I am not worthy, I am not ready, I am not lovable. And it's not that they're not doing what they're supposed to do, you're not doing what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, it is me. And I know that it's me.
Yeah. And that's why, and I'll give you the language, but I'm going to let your accountability partner tell you the language, because she should know the language, but she knows it. Right now, I don't want you dating anybody because you're dangerous. And I don't want you to mess up anybody's life right now. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I want you to get through at least these first 30 days of really getting into this work. But I don't want you to just break it off with him. There's a nice way to say, you know what, let's put this on hold. Give me about 30 days. Let's put this on hold. And if you're still interested after these 30 days, let's pick it back up. But right now, it is definitely not you. I appreciate you. I adore you. But I have got to work on this project. And the project is going to take a little more time than I originally thought. But Tanisha will train you on how to say that, because Tanisha had to go through that, even though she's disobedient, but she knows it. She knows that language very well.
Okay.
Okay? And that is the thing. And I might need to do a video in the orientation and say that, or make that another video. I'm going to keep updating stuff as I go along. But your first 30 to 90 days, don't date, because you will mess yourself up, lose belief in yourself. You'll keep having the same stupid behaviors, and you're going to mess up somebody else's emotions in their life.
And I keep telling him to go away, and he doesn't go away. Not really. No, that's wrong. That's not what I'm saying. I asked him to date other people because what he wants isn't what I want at this moment, because I'm working on myself, but he stays.
Okay. So just put him on hold. And again, Tanisha will tell you that language so that you are a little bit more tactful and you are loving and it's mission oriented and it's positive, because everything you do is a little mean spirited. So we got to get that mean, that little bitter black out of you.
Yeah, it's not intentional. It's, yes, I know my delivery can be harsh.
Yes. And you have a very direct tone like Ursula does. You have that tone that Ursula has. So you really have to be mindful on how you deliver, because it's a It's a tone that if you say something off, it's not going to feel good. And so guys will pressure you until they break you down. And then they remember everything you have done crazy to them. They act like they really want you. But then when they've been insulted, you won't know. And then before you know it, he didn't put 3 knives in your back. And you like, where did that come from? But it's what he remembers what you have said in the past, and he wanted to just stick with it because you're a competition. Men love when you tell them no, that makes them come on even stronger. And it might not even be because they really want you, it's just because you keep telling them no. So you do with your tone and your delivery, you want to be careful, because like me and Izzy have this joke today that we developed. Izzy is dramatic. She's so dramatic, and she acts like she's big and bad and can fight because she always got something to say, but Izzy cannot fight anything, nothing. She is the type that will run home and get her mama, and here I come, right? So, but Izzy, our joke with Izzy is she'll say, Karma get them way more than I can ever do. And it makes me laugh because she's the type of person that get in a fight and be like, I'm not going to fight them. I'm just going to let Karma handle it. So here's the thing. You want to be careful how you are delivering and how your energy is, because Karma takes notes. And you don't know how it's going to repay you. You will get your ass to the altar, be so excited, and the man not show up. You know what I mean? So just be careful. He's a human being. And that's why I say, before you open your mouth, what is the intent behind what you're going to say? Are you trying to hurt? Are you trying to, like you say, am I pushing him away? If I'm pushing him away, why? Why are you doing this? Before you open your mouth, you have to ask yourself why. But again, I think that's chapter 5 in the book about classy communication. It might be chapter 4, I'm not sure. So you're absolutely right. When you take the time and over these next 10 days, get into that book and answer those questions at the end of that book, you're gonna be able to do some shifting. There's gonna be a big shift that's gonna happen.
Okay.
And congratulations on somebody wanting you, Anna. Good Lord. Praise the Lord. Blessing. That's a blessing, Anna.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Let's hit Miss Tanisha. Miss Tanisha, what's going on with you, girl?
A lot.
She said a lot.
A lot. With me, yeah, I'm disobedient. And I know why.
Okay, tell me why.
For me, I've lost 73 pounds. And so I am getting attention from men in ways that I never have. And it's hard for me to resist the temptation. Because I am meeting men that I dreamed about physically. I'm meeting guys that are like gym rats. They're very fit and look good. But some of them are dumb as rocks, or their personality is horrible. You know, their insides are ugly. So sometimes I kind of enjoy the attention, so I kind of drift away.
Okay.
From doing my work.
So let's stop there. So everybody take note. When you are attention seeking and you're happy about, okay, I lost 75 pounds, now I'm getting all this attention. That attention comes from a thirst in your soul. That thirst in your soul is only going to be filled with what I just told Anna, when you take the time and fill your own soul. Because when your soul is empty, anything even bitter seems sweet. And that's a form of self-sabotage. But when your soul is full, even sweet things you're not attracted to, or you don't need it because you're already full. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
When you're hungry, you will eat anything. When you're full, you look at food and be like, push that away from me. So when you're full, you can make better decisions, as well as have a better attraction of not just pulling guys who are gym rat and look good on the outside, but they have something to offer. But right now, you look good on the outside, but you empty on the inside too. You don't have nothing to offer. So you are pulling your compatibility at this point. But if you stay in there and fill yourself up and become full of you, so that you're looking good on the outside and you're radiant on the inside, then you're on a different level energetically, and the men will match that. And you don't necessarily have to do what you're doing now. And the time that you're spending talking to these guys and feeling good because they looking at you and talking to you is the time that you should be reading and pouring to yourself. But if you let these guys take you away and shift you on these boats in this sea and have you up and down and rocking back and forth, you're never going to develop your strong identity. And while you look like you're making progress, you really are going backwards.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's not the only thing really that's kind of getting me off the path where I should be getting to my bliss. When I started reading the book, it was so deep to me in that basically I kind of like froze. So it's like there's something there where I.
Where did you freeze at? You froze on the first chapter too?
Yeah, dealing with like the my boogeyman and all this stuff. Now I got to the second chapter.
Okay.
It's the part. It's the part of telling my story that freaks me out. I don't know. I think it has to do with the fact that the way I've been conditioned in the family is that I've always been put in a place where I'm not heard. And so I've always been, because there's a huge age gap between me and my siblings. And so like my oldest brother, he's 20 years older than me. So I've always been told that classic line, stay in a child's place. You are to be seen and not heard. And it was always that constantly my growing up. And so now it's like, damn, I got to tell my story. I'm afraid. Because I don't talk about stuff. Because I've always been told, hey, go over there, go be quiet, deal with your stuff internally.
So what if we put a positive connotation on it like we did for Anna? What if we take the negative energy out of be quiet and you want to be seen and not heard and put a positive connotation on that? If you tell your story, what would that free up?
It would free up a lot of things. I really feel that me not talking about this story, that's my roadblock. Me talking about the things that I went through, some of my traumas and some of my things that I guess won't deal with. And I feel that those things that I'm not dealing with are what's blocking me from love. It's blocking me from advancing in my career. And it's blocking me from some other things, areas in my life. It
is. It's like a blocked toilet. You know what happens to a blocked toilet, right?
Yeah.
What does it do?
Overflows.
And overflows, and what else happens?
You got a mess.
You got a mess. And what does it smell like?
Shit.
All right. All right. So if you think of yourself as a blocked toilet, overflowing, smelling like shit, would you rather be the blocked toilet, overflowing, smelling like shit, or would you rather free yourself, clean it up, and be a light to other people?
I want to free it up. I want to be free from this. I want to be an example for my two twin daughters that are 20 years old. I just feel bad that I have never been married. They don't know they don't see an example of a husband and wife from me.
So you would be able to shift the paradigm as well for your children. So if you really want that, why do you feel like you need to still be blocked and smelling like shit and overflowing? Which one really do you want? Do you want to stay in that? Because if you want to smell like shit, then you won't pick up that book, and you'll keep saying you're going to be seen and not heard. You're going to keep all those excuses.
Yeah.
So you got to decide, are the excuses going to be stronger, or your will to be a light to those daughters of yours?
Yeah, I want to be a light, and I don't want to be a clogged toilet anymore. I do have a plan of what I want to do here regarding working on myself.
Mm-hmm.
And my plan is that in early April that I was going to take time off from work.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to go to my happy place, which is Monterey, when I'll be near an ocean.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what makes me happy. And I'm going to go out there for 3 to 4 days and strictly work on my bliss work just by myself.
Mm-hmm.
I need to be away from everybody, I feel, because my life is kind of a little chaotic, where a lot of people reach out to me, depend on me. And I know it sounds like an excuse, but it kind of, I kind of will go to deal with them first for myself.
So let me say this to you, why I think that's a beautiful plan and I think you should do it, but I still think that's a cop-out, because life is life. If you don't put boundaries and breaks on this stuff, when you come back from your little oasis, you're going to be back into the lion's den. So you have got to learn to deal with your lion's den. Now, when you go off for your little vacation, that's beautiful. That's icing on the cake, but that can't be your cake. You have got to be able to maneuver. And that's why I said what I said. I have a child with epilepsy. I was working 3 jobs, building a business, a single mother in a city I knew no one.
Okay.
So you're going to have to figure it out with the life that you have. But here's the thing. Like Anna said, it will start to resolve itself if you just do what you need to do. And you know right from wrong. When something don't feel right, you got to put brakes on it. And you have to be heard. You have to be able to say, I hear what you're saying. I empathize with what you're going through. But at this moment, I'm going to pray for you. And that's all I can offer. I cannot do anything for you right now. And be okay with that and hang up the damn phone and get back to you. You're going to have to interrupt the program. Say that with me, Tanisha. I have to interrupt the program.
I have to interrupt the program.
That's what you have to do. You have to interrupt your regularly scheduled broadcast program with a new behavior. Because when you go off in your oasis and come back, it's still going to be hell. So you're going to lose whatever you thought you got those 4 days and come back to hell again. You got to make hell bliss and then go off and get more bliss and come back to bliss. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't care. I tell my husband is, I don't care how angry Mr. Boyo gets and he runs off. When he come back, I'll still be sitting there. I ain't going nowhere. He can go off, go play soccer. He can go lift weights. But when he come back, I'm still sitting on the couch waiting to finish the conversation. And that's how it is. You have to resolve the issues.
Okay.
How do you feel about that?
I feel that what you're saying, you know, you gave me a different perspective of how to look at it, because you're right. Even if I do, you know, go off somewhere and I don't take care of home, I'm going to come back to the same old shit.
Same old shit. Same clogged toilet, same smell, same everything.
Yeah.
And the reason you are paying me, Tanisha, is to unclog that fucking toilet, have a brand new build of a house, a redesign, and open your heart up to love and usher it in. And if we ain't doing that, we ain't doing nothing.
Yeah. So I do need to work on setting boundaries. I know that that's not a strong thing for me. Like I don't have boundaries and with people, and even in dating, like I need to set them, and I need to once I set them, stick to it.
Stick to it. Have consequences. And you'll never be able to set boundaries if you don't have a strong relationship with yourself. If you don't mean anything to yourself and you're hungry, you'll never be able to set those boundaries and stick to it.
Mm. Yeah.
Never. Yeah. And they will laugh at you. They will be like, oh my God, she is not serious.
Yeah. There's something that happened in the family. I had my aunt unexpectedly passed away, and her death really affected me. And it affected me in a way where she basically has 3 grown children, and the youngest is disabled. She died stressed out because she wasn't living her life. Her children, all 3 of them, were codependent on her. And I looked at that and I saw how my auntie suffered and how she just kept everything inside. And we didn't know how bad it was until she passed. And I'm like, I don't want to end up like that. So her death got me to get up and join a gym for my self-care. And I started, I changed my diet. Now I got to deal with my boogeyman and everything else as well. Because I'm like, I don't want that to be me.
Okay. So what's the plan?
My plan, I started already my gym routine, so I got that set up. I need to start reading these chapters starting Monday, and set aside a time, which will probably be kind of similar to Anna, either 8 or 9 o'clock at night, and sit down and do, the assignment afterwards.
So why don't you and Anna, because you are partners, go ahead and set it for 9 o'clock, text each other, I'm reading. You say, yep, reading. And then after it's done, finish my work. And maybe y'all could talk about it a little bit, Revelation, so that y'all keep going and be like, okay, I'll talk to you tomorrow night for your next 10 days.
Okay. Anna, did you want to start from chapter 1 again, or?
I haven't read chapter 2. So if I read chapter 1 tonight, we can start, because you've read chapter 2, right?
I did. I just didn't do the assignment because that's where I was telling my story. I just kind of, had that block and I got scared. So
then why don't we start with chapter 2 tomorrow, and we'll cover chapter 1 and 2.
Okay. That sounds good.
That sounds like a plan. I'm feeling like a proud mama right here. I'm going to put on my calendar in 10 days, Anna and Tanisha should be conquering the red carpet, and things should be changing and shifting.
Yeah, because I'm tired. I'm tired of this. So my life like this.
Same here. I'm tired.
And Anna, if she makes any excuse, say you stink.
Okay.
That is going to be the trigger. If she comes up with any, well, I had to work, or I overslept, or the girl's this, or the guy that, say you stink.
Okay.
And Tanisha,
and vice versa.
Right. And Tanisha, tell Anna you're going to end up like your family. All of you are going to be. You're going to be bitter and alone. Say that, Tanisha.
That hurts.
I know. Tanisha, you got her. Tell her and Anna you're going to be bitter and alone, just like the rest of your family. There you go.
Okay. Well,
girl, we got to get it together, girl.
No, we do. This is what we really want. So, we need to walk the walk. And we had actually had this conversation a couple of days ago.
Yeah, Nikisha, we talk. We do. Me and her, we have a deep conversation.
I had to get on people about that before, because the old heads used to be having prayer meetings and stuff. I'd be like, y'all are not even doing work. Y'all having prayer meetings and gossip sessions. This is not what this is. Well, at least we got clear, and that's why I thought it was so important to add another session, because the master class is me teaching or me inviting someone to talk about a subject, but I thought this was very critical because people are getting lost and unmotivated and doing all kind of stuff, sitting it to the side, pick it up, and I'm like, I don't have time to be with y'all this long. I like people to keep coming because they're learning. But if you're not implementing what you're learning, leave me alone, because you're making me feel, because I get low self-esteem real quick when people ain't doing my work. I'm serious. It makes me question myself, like, am I not teaching good? Am I not giving it right? And then I start pondering, and I go to Boyo, and I'm worrying him to death. Like, I need y'all to do the damn work or move on, period. All right. Let's move to Miss Ursula. What's going on, Ursi? Sarah, what's going on, Sarah?
Hello. I'm sorry I joined a little late. One of my sorority sisters is here from Dallas, and so
okay.
She got here late, so so I'm still at the house. I just had to go in a room.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, I realized that I think I've been having a bit of a pity party. And so I'm sorry for myself. I realized that after I had texted you the other day, I'm like, okay, what's really up with you? You know, and so I realized I've just been feeling sorry for myself. And so I'm like, you know what, that ain't cool, and that's not who you really are. Because things have not been going the way I expected them to, or how I wanted to. You know, since having lost my job, and now I'm independent and trying to launch this business, and I've got some clients and all of that, but things are just moving a lot slower. They're not going at the pace I expected to. I'm working, but I'm not getting paid. And sometimes you have to do the work before you can actually receive the money. I know it's coming, and I know when it does come, it's going to be wonderful. It's just that the way that this business is set up, especially this particular business that I'm working with the state and with these children, the state of Illinois doesn't pay very time. And so there have been a couple of areas that I pursue that it's you know, like I said, it's coming. It's just a little delayed. So yeah, I'm feeling a little sorry for myself and licking my wounds a little bit. And so I realized that, okay, what is it that you need to do, Ursula? Get yourself together. And so I picked up the book. I picked up the book and started reading again. And I realized that that's what I needed to do. I need to get my head back in the game. That I pretty much had everything that I had learned and that I had been doing, I had abandoned. And so I needed to adjust my focus and really just kind of, you know, really get my bliss back on, but really just readjust my focus and just, you know, really empower myself. Because I realized that I had really not lost it, but surrendered my power. And so that even though I had been, you know, praying, I had not been praying the way I had been trained to pray. And so I started back on yesterday with recalling what we did at the retreat in June, and going back and writing my prayers and doing my meditations and my affirmations and all of that. And yesterday was amazing and incredible, and did the same thing again today, and it was amazing and incredible. And so you know, I've set aside time in the evening to read as well and do the work. And so when I go home this evening, I'll be finishing up the chapter and going through, and I'm going through and I'm taking my time to do the work and go through. But I'm like, you know, you did what you need to do to get to a certain point, and then you walked away from it. And so I was just reminding myself that go back and do what worked for you. So just because, you know, you had some disappointment and some things didn't work out, that's life. Life happens. So what are you going to do? You know, so go back and be who you were created to be. But be better, because you're meant to be better. Go claim your power. And so go back and pray the way you were praying. Go back and focus the way that you should be focusing, and truly listen and hear from God. because I know that there's some critical things that I should be doing that I need to hear from him. Mm-hmm. And so, but I need to be in that space to mm-hmm. hear that. And so, yeah, I'm back in the game. I'm back in the game. I'm back in the game.
So what yeah. I'm sensing for you, Ursula, and I'm sensing this from, like I said, I've been coaching all weekend, but there seems to be a theme that's also going on, and I'm going to call my old heads. With my old heads, you guys kind of know what to do. But again, when it don't show up the way you think it should show up, or you put it up, put it down, you know, because y'all got to be leaders for Tanisha and Anna and Erica and all the new babies coming in. Sure. But here's the thing. Y'all's life, y'all are used to being so busy and doing. But in the busyness and doing, you ain't really doing purpose. You ain't really doing what's making you happy.
Sure.
You're just busy.
Yeah.
So what I want you to do I need you guys to not just think of Bliss like this magical place, but I need you guys to see Bliss like I'm about to turn up the volume. You know how when you listening to the radio or whatever, you kind of turn it, you know, it'd be like a regular, but then when your song come on, like for me, it's Dougie Fresh and Slick Rick. When Dougie Fresh come on, I like crank all the way up, and it makes me feel good, and I'm jamming, and I think I can beatbox, and I'm doing my own movements and all of that stuff. That's where I need y'all to be. And you only get there by being in purpose and being in passion.
Okay.
Purpose and passion.
Mm-hmm.
So I need you to go back and reflect about all this busy work you're doing and say, is this a part of my purpose and is this part of my passion?
Okay.
Am I passionate about this and is this purpose? If it's not, put it on hold or delete it. That part in the book where I talk about delete complete, delete complete and or release it or something like that. You got to go through and do that, because here's the thing. I was studying the other day. Matter of fact, give me a second. Let me go get it, because I was writing copious notes. Hold on. Give me a second. Let me go get my journal.
Okay.
And the Lord be talking. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. While I get to what I want to say, what I talked about when me and the Lord was talking the other day in my journal, in my prayer time, I'm going to say this. The work that I do, I build it from the internet. What y'all see me do is all that I do. I'm not out doing speaking engagements. Every blue moon, somebody asks me to come speak, and I'll say, okay. But what y'all see me do, that is it. The work that I do, and the reason I'm able to have what I have, is because I spend more time doing this work than anything else. So it's magnetized to me. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
And I'm praying prayers like, thank you for a waiting list of clients. Thank you with so many clients. I have to start hiring people to help me. Thank you for those old clients coming back. Thank you for new clients that are waiting. Thank you that they're buying books, this, that, and the other. I'm doing more spiritual work than I do physical work. There are people that are running all over town, speaking engagement after speaking engagement. They are going to every network meeting they can find. They're a part of every association they can find. And they have to grow the grueling way. I don't do that. Just like with me finding my husband, I didn't do it the grueling way. I did the work. And then I got a free trip to Nigeria, and then boom, there he was.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have to do it the grueling way. So my point to this is purpose and passion. And you were a little late, so let me just say this. When we were talking about what is your real why for doing this? For me, the superficial reason, which was my second reason, was I wanted to be a wife. But the real reason I'm doing this is because, or I started to do the work, was because I wanted God to really show me how this love thing worked. And I said, God, if you show me how this works and I can make it work for myself, I'll make sure that no other woman goes through the pain that I've gone through. And I will give her these secrets and teach it to her. That was my passion and my purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So that was number one. Number two, I wanted to be a wife. So when you have the passion and a purpose, you won't get, backslide or pick it up, put it down. And it's positivity. It's not a negative, it's not drawn out of negativity. It's drawn out of a love, a passion, a desire, a mission.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to find that for yourself. Why are you doing what you're doing? Is it just to feel good? Is it because you finally want to be married? What's the real reason you are in this? What are you doing? And once you find that, everything else will start becoming magnetized to you. I'll give you another example. The hardest pill for me to swallow, because I live in this place called Douglasville. It's outside of Atlanta. It's 40 minutes outside of Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason I live here is because when me and Boyo came here, when we left Nigeria, we didn't have anything. We didn't have the money to move back to Los Angeles.
Okay.
So our sorority sister, we were roommates, Aisha, we were roommates in college.
Okay.
And we just been 20 something years. We've been friends. And so we were homeless. So we kept saying, well, let's try Atlanta. It might be cheaper. So I called Aisha and I said, Aisha, we don't have nowhere to go. Aisha said, hold on. She called Umi, her mother. And Umi said, y'all could come out here with me, but I live in the country patch field. It's 3 hours from Atlanta, blah, blah, blah. She said, hold on. She called her sister, who was Miss Lee, told her sister about us. Oh, Lord, don't let me cry. And Miss Lee said, have them come. We came to her. She came out of her house. She looked at us. She looked at us hard, and she said, come on in. So she housed us when we were homeless.
Mm-hmm.
And when she left, it shocked me because I wasn't expecting any of this. But getting back to purpose and passion, because I stayed in my purpose and my passion, we didn't have living room. We didn't have living room furniture. We had bedroom furniture. So I stay in my bedroom or in the office. But because I was gung-ho about, I didn't want to spend a whole bunch of money on the living room furniture. And I know I'm going back to California. So I didn't want it to be having to sell a whole bunch of stuff and all of that. Make a long story short, do you know Miss Lee left me all her furniture?
Really?
Left me all her furniture. And 3 days before she died, she moved the couch over here first. And then she told me everything else we needed to get, but let her, go do the surgery really quick. But she had already talked to Umi and told Umi. My house is filled with furniture and pictures. The picture you see behind me, we had a different picture. She said, Miss Lee said, no, we got to put the tulips behind that couch. And I was like, okay. So we just got to hang this stuff up. But my point is, I'm getting back to my point. My purpose and my passion, I don't have to toil over stuff. I don't have to go out and be like spending money on this and that and all of that. It just comes to me because I stay in my purpose and my passion. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
So I want y'all to learn my method. My worth is do this work and be clear on why you're doing this work. Mm-hmm. Be clear on what your purpose and your passion is and what it takes somebody else 10 years to figure out and do. It'll only take you 6 months.
Okay.
So that's my whole point to this. So, and then to back it up, I have some Bible verses for some stories. Hold on, let me see. 3:9. Okay, let's see. Okay, here it is. I was like, oh my God, God, you are so seriously. Okay, so on March 10th, I was writing and talking and stuff. And then that's when he brought that to me. He was showing me the secrets, and he said, powerful women that were found, or, you know, that end up being married, they were occupied with their purpose and their passion. He said, and these are the women that we talk about to this day in the Bible. There's a lot of women in the Bible, but we don't really know them all because their purpose wasn't like that powerful. But the ones who had the real powerful purpose, the real powerfulness that we talk about all the time in church and all that, they were passionate about their purpose. So he started giving me names. He said, Ruth, she was occupied with her purpose. Her purpose was taking care of Naomi. She was real serious about that. She didn't even know the people, but she didn't care. She was real gung-ho about taking care of Naomi. And while she was busy taking care of Naomi, Boaz was busy taking care of her. Esther was occupied being a good girl, doing what she needed to do. Everything her uncle told her, that was her purpose. Get your butt in there and win that contest. Right. Do whatever they tell you to do to win that damn contest. She won the contest and was able to save her whole race as a result of the level she had ascended to. The Proverbs 31 woman, what's so powerful about her? She's occupied in her purpose and passion. It doesn't say she meddled in the affairs of her husband. Her husband doing his thing, she is so occupied by doing what she needs to do to make sure the home front is okay and make sure she's okay. Mary Magdalene, she was occupied with her purpose, anointing Jesus' feet and being there for him, making sure he didn't need anything. Rahab, she was occupying her purpose. She was the best daggone harlot there was. And when it was time to hide them, she did her thing and she did it well. Delilah, occupied in her purpose. Her purpose was to figure out where Samuel's strength was, and she was able to do it. Hannah, occupied with her purpose. Her purpose was to keep going and praying and being a good woman and get that baby Samuel birth. Or Samson, I'm sorry. Rebecca, she was occupied with her purpose. She was at the well working. And then Abraham's, what's the name? He went and matchmade her. He found her at the well working. So we gotta be occupied. You gotta know what your passion, your purpose is, and be occupied with that. But you can't do that neglecting yourself.
Got it.
Okay?
Got it.
So the same thing, you go back, start at the beginning or wherever you are, the next 10 days, you all get that book read, actually do the work after the end, but ask yourself, what's the real reason I'm doing this? Am I operating in my passion and in my purpose? Because if you're not, it'll be toiling. You'll just be doing stuff and one disappointment after another. But when you get that thing straightened out, it becomes simple. It ain't easy, but it becomes simple.
Right. Okay.
Any questions?
No, ma'am.
You got it?
I got it.
All right, love bugs. Well, I want to thank you all for coming on tonight. In 2 weeks, the last Sunday of this month, we have our master class, but I'm looking forward. Let's get the group stirred up. Let's talk about the work, because I guarantee you it'd be so quiet because ain't nobody working. That's how I know. When ain't nobody working, it's so quiet in that group. But let's get to work, because when you get to work, you start getting testimonials. When you get testimonials and things start shifting your life, you want to tell it.
Sure.
When you're working and you got questions, you want to ask questions. So that's how I know nobody's working, because ain't no questions, no testimonials, ain't nothing going on. It's just as dead. And I'm like, I can't carry. Jesus said, let the dead bury the dead. I can't do that. Let me go back and tell my mother and father who was my mother, who was my father. I don't have time for that. I ain't got time for dead people. Jesus, Lazarus is dying. Okay, I'm over here right now. I don't have time for Lazarus. But when I come, all I know is I got to speak a word. So that's us. Jesus is our big brother, our cousin, our savior. He's everything. So that power that he had, he died to give it to us. It's not that he died on the cross just to be all miraculous and get up the third day. No, there was passion and purpose in that. Why did he get up the third day? So that he could have the power to exchange to us. But we ain't even using the power. We running around using his name, but not the power. We got to stop doing the form of godliness. Stop it. We are the light and the beacon. There are so many broken women running around, don't know why these men keep treating them crazy and stuff, but they don't have enough examples. And you are sent to be that example. So you got to stop dropping the ball and be that example.
Very true.
So I bless you all. And I know that after tonight, light bulbs are going to come on. I know y'all going to start hearing things more clear. And I just pray that the direction will be clearer for you and you be dedicated to this path that you're on right now so that you can be light for others and also finally be able to manifest your heart's desires, because his arms reach away. Its arms reach away. It's not that far away, but you got to be dedicated and show and prove that you're worthy just by what you're doing in your day-to-day life. That's how you show your worthiness. This is the test. And if you don't pass the test, you got to repeat the grade again. And I don't know about you, but I like being on honors. I'm not no average student. I'm an honor student. I graduated cum laude. I'm not doing that. I'm not just going to blend in with the average people. I need a ribbon and all kind of stuff behind my name. So remember that. That's how life is. Do it with purpose and passion. And don't let it go, because you are so close. All of you guys are close. Okay?
Okay.
All right. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. I'm looking to see the group buzzing with all the new information, testimonials, and everything else. I'm waiting to see these turnaround stories. I'm excited to see the turnaround stories. All right?
Nikisha?
Yes?
I just want to say one final thing.
Uh-huh.
Today, on March 17th, I am officially on a medication.
Okay.
Hey.
I'm going to stop being disobedient.
Thank you, Jesus. Shama. Oh my God. Yes, Lord. And y'all see my journal? Y'all get y'all some pretty journals that y'all can't wait to write in. Y'all see that? Get you a pretty, make everything an experience. That's why I love being with me, because I make everything an experience. Everything has to be beautiful and shiny and exciting. I set it all up so it's just gorgeous and you can't wait to get there. Make it an experience. Just think if you had a date and he just took you to McDonald's. It ain't that you don't eat McDonald's, but that ain't no experience. It's about the experience. Create that experience for you. Okay?
Okay.
I love you guys. Y'all have a good night.
Love you too.
You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.